What's up, guys? We're in a little bit different of a setting than normal. This is probably too bright, isn't it? Let's see. So, what are we talking about today? Today we're talking about K-Bas, Monolith, Monoprice, reverse that, Monoprice, Monolith, K-Bas speakers. These are probably the best 2.0 speakers that you can get for a apartment. And the reason why is because they get really low in the frequency response. They go like down to 39 hertz. They hit that like hard with a lot of impact. But they have this full-bodied experience, and they don't need a subwoofer. Almost all 2.0 systems would benefit from a subwoofer, including these. If you had your own home theater in your own house, you didn't have to worry about disturbing your neighbors like I have to worry about, then these would be a perfect pair of speakers for that. But they're also really good standalone from rooms from 5 to 15 feet away from where the speakers are. I'd say that's where these shine. I did try them on the desktop. They're all right. They're pretty good. But the volume that they're at without being like obnoxiously loud and right in your face is just a little too low, and it's not really where these speakers like to shine. These speakers like to be opened up. It's like a car that likes to be driven. They're really cool. They're really good sounding. Anyways, I want to go over a little bit of the things that are on the website that I found were kind of interesting, and then I'll talk about what I hear. All right, so they're listed as 50 watt RMS, 150 watt peak speakers. They have a 5 1/4 inch polypropylene cone woofer and at the top, and yes, they are orientated on the screen correctly. That's how they stand. They go from 39 hertz to 20 kilohertz. They have a 5-year warranty, which is impressive, and I always appreciate your 5-year warranties, Monoprice. And then the interesting thing that I was talking about a second ago, they have a 1-inch liquid cooled titanium dome driver. Titanium dome tweeter, I'm sorry. This may be common, but I've never seen this before. If you know anything about this, leave it in the comments down below. I read a little bit about liquid cooled drivers, but they were all like using ferrofluid or something like that. And I didn't really find anything about these specifically. So I thought that was interesting. Please inform me, because I consider myself relatively uneducated on the topic. So not relatively. I find myself completely uneducated on the topic. Hey, what's up, guys? So real quick, just kind of random note, something that I forgot to mention earlier about these K-Bosses here. I'm remaking parts of the video because there was a couple things that I forgot and I didn't put B-roll in and people were complaining about it. So here I am today. Sorry for the cut-in. So these are big. They're about 15 pounds a piece. I think that was one thing I forgot, and then another thing I forgot. So it's got a little cover going over the back for the top woofer and the bottom tweeter. It goes on and looks just like that. So these are pretty thick size. So there it is for comparison to a mica speaker, which is much smaller, as you can see. Sorry, it's kind of weird that I'm on the ground, but whatever, you get the point. Anyways, on to the rest of the video. So on to what I can here. What do I get out of these that I really like and don't like so much? Okay, first things I like I said, you get this like full-bodied, rich experience, and like nothing feels left out. And 39 hertz, it's not the lowest, but it gets there, and it gets there really, really well, and it doesn't feel like it's struggling at all. And I want to focus on the bass for a little bit, and then I'll get to all the other stuff. These have an emphasis on bass, for sure. It's not super colored, but the thing I really like about these is that they are bassy, but they don't have this like muddy or lack of quality or detail in the bass. They don't have a lack of that, and I think that's really, really impressive. I think that is one of the strong suits of these speakers, is that low-end detail, like at the beginning of Young and Beautiful by Lana Del Rey. You think you have an understanding of that song. You really do. You think you've got grips to how the beginning is supposed to sound, but then you hear it in a system that can really play it, and you understand that your understanding of it is not an understanding of it. You have like a fraction of the knowledge that can be taken from there. And it's this really impressive display of this kind of detailed low end that's going whoa, 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 whoa. But that's how it sounds on AirPods, on Apple EarPods, on Beats. It sounds the same on everything until you hit a revealing system, and then you understand that there's like these details within the details. And these were able to play that. And I don't know what it is about these, but I've never heard, even in a pair of headphones, I've never heard it displayed the way that it was displayed on these. Really impressive, Monoprice. Really impressive. So now I kind of want to talk a little bit about checklists. And there are speakers that check off boxes left and right. They can highs, mids, lows, imaging, soundstage, isolation, detail, all that stuff. These check all the boxes. And for a base price of about $400 for the pair, I think right now on Monoprice, they're about $150 a piece, which is definitely a good deal. Definitely jump on those, because either at $300 a pair or $400 a pair, I actually fully recommend these. They check all the boxes, but something that these do just gives me a little bit of extra, like it's got more of something. And I value myself as being able to be pretty articulate about this type of thing and explaining what I like and what I don't like about a particular set of either headphones or speakers. And I can't put my words together to articulate what exactly it is about these that I like so much. And it's a strange feeling, and I'm sorry that I'm not able to better word myself to explain what I mean. But, and I'm paraphrasing what I mean. This isn't what I mean. But the best way I can explain it is that there's a sense of quality to the sound. It's like a silk versus satin. It's like, yes, they look the same on the outside. They feel relatively the same, but you touch them and they're not the same. There's like a quality to silk that is not present in satin. Or when you touch velvet, it's like, yes, it's got this feeling on the outside when you first touch it. It's got an initial feeling, and then you really set your hands on it, and then you let it settle and you understand it. And then you notice that there's depth to the detail and to the quality. And these are a lot like that. And it may be because for a 2.0 system, these, going from a much smaller pair of mica PBX something powered speakers, these are such a big step up. It might be that, honestly. But there's this like level to the things that it does that is just beyond my comprehension. There's something about the depth that it's able to portray that is just, it's better. It's just better. And I'm not sure why, because the speakers I've heard around the same price range, they get to the same volume, they hit the same notes, they sound the same, or they don't sound the same, but they sound good, but they don't sound like these. These have like, there's something special about them. Now, I'm not sure what it is. So that's all I can say on it. And I mentioned earlier that there was things that I liked, and that's one of them. But at the same time, that's also something I don't like. I like revealing systems. I like systems that I can listen to it and I understand it right away. This isn't like that. It's not like that at all. Now, that's not a bad thing, but it is frustrating for me. And sometimes it's almost like, it has everything, but it's almost like sometimes there's something missing, but you can't tell what it is. And then other times it seems like there's something extra that is there, but you can't tell what it is either. So that's the positive and the negative. It's like there's something that doesn't fit certain things, but fits other things perfectly. And I really wish I could really pinpoint it, and I'm just waiting for it to click and for me to be like, oh, it's that. I got it. But it just hasn't happened yet. So it's kind of weird. I totally recommend these things. For the price, I'm going to score these like an 8 out of 10 for value to what you get. They are passive, which means that they're not, self-powered and all that stuff. I would have liked to see self-powered. And maybe if they sold them as a unit and they either had individually powered or a single powered one, I'd really like these. Another downside to that, or to these, is that they're big and they're heavy. I think they're like 14 to 15 pounds a piece, which is a lot. And some people love the looks, some people hate the looks. I like them, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people think they're ugly. But I personally dig them, but I'll let you decide on your own. You don't need me to tell you what you like. So for me, I use them for home theater, and for home theater, they are just spectacular. Like I said, they get low in the frequency range to give you like a full-bodied experience, and they just have this amazing sound stage, and they can just go so far back. It's really crazy. And then the imaging is on point, especially with a good amp. I did have a receiver on there that was having a little bit of imaging issues that I had to compensate through like an EQ adjustment on the percentage of distribution of sound, but I got that all figured out, and then I switched over to another amp, and I'm actually looking for a different receiver right now. But once I got it down, like it was dead center, and it wasn't fuzzy. It was planted right there. It was really good. Not the best I've ever heard. I've heard some headphones, and I think not the Micas, but can't remember what other pair of speakers. It doesn't matter. I've heard better, but it's definitely not a low point of these. It's really, really good. So $400 a pair plus an amplifier. So you're probably talking about, or a receiver, you're probably talking about $600-700 for all of it, unless you already have the amplifier invested in. That's a lot of money. You know, that's a lot of money for anybody, I think, or not anybody, but most people. That's a lot. Is it worth the investment? I'd say if you really want something for home theater and you want something that is good, but is primarily based in home theater or home theater gaming, these are on point. And for an apartment, that 2.0 system is all you need. They will blow any soundbar I've ever heard out of the water 10 times out of 10. I mean, they're really, really good. And so if you're looking for a higher end system and you want something more than just like a soundbar with a dedicated subwoofer, these beat it just being a 2.0 system. If you're in a house and you've got your own home theater and you make this a 2.1 system, you are so golden, it's not even funny. Yeah, I really can't say enough about these things. I like these a lot. I actually pressed up the review because I'm working on some bigger projects that we'll get to in another video. And I was gonna wait to review these for kind of a home theater project, but I don't know, I kind of just wanted to talk about them because I've had them for, like, you've seen them in the background of videos. I've had them for a long time, and I feel like I've gotten to understand what they sound like and gotten to really appreciate what they sound like, and I like them a lot. Yeah, there's really not much else for me to say about it. I really dig them. I think you'll dig them. If you want to buy them, links to both Amazon and Monoprice are down below. If you like the video, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. You know the drill. Until next time, guys, my name is Josh. Stay safe, don't drown, don't do anything your mom wouldn't approve of. You know the drill. Peace!